Good morning, everybody. In accordance with Section 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990 as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. Just like to start by apologizing. We are off to a bit of a late start this morning due to a power outage that we did have here at North York Civic Centre. We are back online now, and I will do my best to make up some time this morning so that we can keep on schedule today. But I appreciate everybody for their patience in allowing staff to get this matter resolved. The Committee of Adjustment considers applications for variances from the provision of the zoning bylaw that applies to property, permission to extend or alter lawful non-conforming uses, and consent to sever property to create new lots. We acknowledge the land we're meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Committee of Adjustment hearings are now conducted in a hybrid in-person and virtual format. Some applicants and participants will make their submissions in person, and others will participate virtually by electronic means through WebEx, an online digital platform. The meetings are also streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel, and anyone wishing to view the hearing may watch on YouTube. Those who want to participate virtually and have registered in advance will be connecting with their computer, tablet, smartphone, or telephone and have the option of participating via video or audio only. All virtual participants will automatically be muted on entry. When your item is called, you will be unmuted by the moderator, one person at a time. We ask that you also mute your devices until you're called on to speak. Those participating by video appearance will be temporarily upgraded to panelist when your item is being held. During this time, your camera will be enabled. You will only be visible during your 5-minute allotted speaking time. At all other times, your video will be disabled and you will be reinstated as an attendee. For both in-person and virtual participants, Committee of Adjustment staff will share presentations submitted in accordance with a written submission deadline. Those participating through WebEx are not allowed to use share screen or any other panelist controls during a video appearance. The host will remove you from panelist role if you fail to respect that instruction. People attending in person today who wish to receive a copy of the decision of the committee on an application must fill out a decision request card, and those participating virtually need to submit a written request for a decision by email. Please ensure that you include your name, address, and email address because the Committee of Adjustment and the Toronto Local Appeal Body will be sending notifications and appeal updates by email. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, you may be able to appeal the decision of the Toronto Local Appeal Body, to the Toronto Local Appeal Body, I should say, or in some limited circumstances to the Ontario Land Tribunal. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act and generally removed rights of third parties to appeal Committee of Adjustment decisions. Only the applicant, the Minister of Affairs and Housing, specified persons and public bodies, as those terms are defined in the Planning Act, are permitted to appeal decisions of the Committee of Adjustment. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the decision of the committee. With respect to the hearing procedure, I will call each item in the order listed on the agenda. When an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant may proceed with their presentation if desired. When the committee does not require a presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee may ask questions and/or take the matter into committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant or agent, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. I will comment when you're reaching your 5-minute mark. Any presentation or other materials you wish to submit to the committee must have been emailed in advance of the hearing, and committee members cannot accept materials at the hearing. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant and/or agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to the committee on the application. Please note that the committee may not entertain revisions to proposals at the hearing today. The committee may decide to defer the application if substantially revised to ensure the revised application is accurate and that all those entitled to notice of the application are informed of the changes. Then, individuals either in support or opposed to the application will be invited to speak. Generally, we call on speakers in the hearing room and then those participating through WebEx. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they have finished their presentation. When all speakers are finished, the applicant or agent has the opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of the discussion. The application will then be taken into committee for a decision. So before we get to the first item, do we have any minutes that we need to adopt at this time from our previous hearings?
We do. Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have the minutes of the May 9th hearing.
Okay.
Present was yourself, Ms. Casson, Mr. Fazeli, and Ms. Martin.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'm happy to make a motion to approve the minutes for May 9th.
Thank you, Ms. Casson. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Fazeli. All in favor? Okay, that is unanimous. The motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, do we have any deferral requests at this time? Actually, before we get to deferral, do we have any conflict of interest, declarations of interest that we need to address? Ms. Martin, I believe. Okay, and your reason for the conflict, Ms. Martin?
Well, my reason for the conflict is that I'm associated with one of the parties, it's a family member.
Okay, very good. And I believe there's another conflict as well.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
Mr. Chair, sorry to interrupt. I don't believe Ms. Martin's microphone is on.
So I have two conflicts. One is item 1, and
We'll perhaps address the afternoon conflict in our afternoon session.
Sure.
So item number 1, Ms. Martin, I'll just ask you to step out when we hear that item, regardless of whether or not they're asking for deferral,
okay,
and then we'll have you step back in when we move on to item number 2.
perfect.
Okay, any other conflicts this morning on the morning session? Okay, I see none. All right. Do we have any request for deferral?
Through you, Mr. Chair, in the AM, we have one. It's item number 1.
Okay, very good. So,
You want me to step out?
yes, yeah, Ms. Martin, if you could step out at this time. We, looks like we're ready to jump into item number 1, which we'll deal with first. Also, given the fact that they are requesting a deferral at this time. Do we have the applicant or agent with us?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Just confirming that you can hear me.
We can hear you. Your name and address for us, please.
My name, sir, is Matthew Lakatos Hayward, spelled Lakatos -Hayward, and I am counsel to the applicant and appellant in this matter, Devron YS Limited.
Okay, I understand you're asking for a deferral at this time.
Yes, Mr. Chair, and I can perhaps offer some context to explain that deferral,
Of course.
in part because there is some history to this. Mr. Chair, this project relates to a rezoning application that was approved in 2020 to facilitate a 9-story mixed-use residential rental building with rental replacement dwelling units and underground parking. In 2021, a draft plan of condominium application was filed, which was approved and registered on January 18, 2024. As a result of that draft plan of condominium, various parcels were brought into existence and do exist on a registered, on a registered R plan that has been deposited on title. And just for reference, those parcels include a rental replacement component, a retail component, and a below-grade component. The purpose of this particular application is just to create easements to allow for the building to function, which was a condition of the city's approval of the draft plan of condo. And so while the draft plan of condominium creates easements as between the condominium and other components, it cannot create easements that don't relate to the condo component. So this application is just to create easements between the rental, retail, and below-grade component. And as an easement application, Mr. Chair, this normally would have been delegated to the Deputy Secretary Treasurer for a hearing rather than to the committee. But there, I believe, was some confusion that has arisen because there is a separate consent and variance application that exclusively relates to the severance of the retail component. This has not been scheduled for a full hearing, but for some, due to some, I think, procedural inadvertence, this matter was scheduled for a hearing before the committee today. This application is only related to that severance application because it relates to the same property. The applications, though, are not interdependent on each other. And in fact, this easement application has to occur before the severance application. And as a result, our client is seeking a deferral of this application in order to create the necessary easements for the building to function before the severance application comes forward. I've been in conversation with the staff of the committee, including the Secretary Treasurer, who support this approach. And as a result, I request a deferral to allow our client's application to be dealt with through the proper process.
Okay, thank you. Seeing as that there's no other speakers, I believe we're ready to move into committee for a decision on this. Okay, so we're going to move into committee right now. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'd like to forward a motion to defer this application as per applicant request that they could deal with this application through a proper process.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fazeli. Do I have a second? Second by Ms. Casson. All in favor? Okay, that is unanimous. The motion carries. The deferral is approved. Okay, thank you. If we can
Thank you,
ask-
Mr. Chair.
Thank you. If we can ask Ms. Martin back at this time, we will move to item number 2. Welcome back, Ms. Martin. Okay, item number 2, 260 Old Forest Hill Road. The purpose of the application is a proposal to construct a new dwelling. A moment here. Got a number of variances, including east side yard setback, west side yard setback, rear yard setback, FSI, encroachment for a canopy, encroachment for a platform, as well as encroachment of a exterior staircase. We've also got eave encroachment. We've got platform area pertaining to a third-story platform. We've got an encroachment towards the east lot line, and then we also have 2 variances pertaining to the width and length of a required parking space. On file, I've got material from the applicant, memo from Transportation Services, memo from Urban Forestry, advisory comments from Metrolinx, letters of support from 252, 254, 258, 259, 261, 262, and 263 Old Forest Hill Road. Do we have the applicant with us?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Last name is Bronskill, Bronskill. First initial D for David. Address is 333 Bay Street, Suite 3400, Toronto, Ontario. And I am here today as agent for the applicant.
Mr. Bronskill, welcome. I understand that this may be a modified application?
It is, sir. I should deal with that up front, if you don't mind.
Yes, I would like that.
This
Can we
is
just
the
pull up
result-
the public notice? And perhaps, sir, you can take us through that?
Absolutely. And it relates as well to the planning staff memo. So there are 3 variances being modified and 1 variance being eliminated. Why don't I deal with the elimination first? Because that's easiest. That's number 5, which is the east side yard setback for the canopy. So that variance would be removed.
Okay.
Variance 1. And this one requires just a little bit of explanation, Mr. Chair. So it's 0.14. We are modifying it to 0.16. We recognize that the staff memo says 0.60, but I'll explain to the committee in a moment, and this has been reviewed and discussed with city staff. They are fine with exactly what we're doing. And in fact, Mr. Chair, as part of this, I'm just going to put it on the record now, I'll be asking for a condition that approval be substantially in accordance with the site plan. So I'll explain why it's 0.16 and not 0.6 in a moment, but the east side yard setback would go to 0.16. The variance 7 would go from 0, which is shown on the public notice, and it would be modified to 0.19.
Okay.
There it is. Yep. Oops, sorry, staff. Just back up a little bit. Thank you. A little bit more, sorry. It's variance number 7. There it is. So it says the proposed E-platform encroaches 0.9 meters into the required side yard setback and is 0 meters. That would be 0.19. And then variance 8, while it's just there, the stairs go from 0.07 to 0.3. And Mr. Chair, just if it's helpful to explain, and if staff are able just to bring up page 2 of the presentation materials we provided, it's the colored site plan. Thank you. So it's all along that east property line, which is at the top of the page, or top of the site plan, I guess. That's the east property line. All of the dimensions that you've seen have been included. If staff are able just to zoom in on the 2 front corners or left corners of the house at the top, I can just explain that variance 1 change to you, which has been reviewed with staff. You can see there on the left, the 0.6 that's been achieved for a side yard setback. That's a modification that addresses the staff concern. The 0.16 is just to the right of that, where the green line, which is the existing corner or house, matches what is being proposed. And because that's an existing condition, staff are fine with the 0.16 in that location, but they wanted the 0.6 closer to the street. And that's why, Mr. Chair, we should have a condition that it be substantially in accordance with the site plan. So the 0.16 is restricted to that corner, and it could not be used anywhere else on that east side yard setback. So that's an explanation of the changes, Mr. Chair.
Sure, Mr. Brunskill, you noted that there was, that planning was supportive of that condition. But what's stated in the staff report and what you're telling me are 2 different things. So is there any clarification concerning that particular condition for variance?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
1?
So for variance number 1,
I
yes.
believe-
So if you go into, can you, Mr. Chair, if you go into the staff report itself, if I could ask staff for that indulgence, on page 2. There's a paragraph that begins the proposed application also features another corner of the house on the east side that, and then it says measures 0.16. City planning has no concerns as these conditions already exist. So that's why the 0.16 is there. So they have no concern with that 0.16. It's just we would still need the variance for the 0.16 to implement that.
Okay. Yeah, I do see that in the report. I just and maybe just ask. I know my colleagues are listening. I'm just looking in the recommendations here, and it does note for variance number 1, they're asking for 0.6, and then it goes on to say if the modification, the staff's recommending refusal if those modifications aren't made. But I do see further down in the comments, you've pointed out that condition of the 0.16 meters as it pertains to that specific part of the lot there. So maybe I'll put that aside. Other members may have questions to help with the clarification of that. But is there anything else, I guess, at this time? Perhaps I should open up to see if there's questions for you from our members.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I just have one question, a clarification. In the staff report, when they recommend substantially in accordance with the site plan, they're referring to variance 1 and variance 10. Just checking with the applicant, you're in agreement with that? It's fine for the items listed? Site plan, roof plan,
Yes,
and
through you,
east
Mr.
side.
Chair, we are fine with that. Yes. And there, again, that's, I think that's further color for, again, that east side yard setback I was explaining to you. We are accepting of those conditions, and I think they're important as well to ensure that the existing condition, that 0.16, and I know I'm repeating myself, but that existing condition is then not used to decrease the east side yard setback any further in other locations.
Thank you.
Okay. I do see that we have another person on our list. I just want to confirm that they are not related to you, Mr. Bronskill. Is there a Miss Myers?
She's from the architect's office.
Okay. So we don't have anybody else. We don't have any other speakers on this item then. Okay. Very good. Any other questions? Okay. Okay, it doesn't appear we have any other questions at this time, so it looks like we're ready to move into committee for a decision on this one. Okay, so let's move into committee now.
Mr. Chair, I can start. I don't have any issues with the requested variances, so I'm happy to make a motion unless other people. What happened?
What happened?
Oh,
Oh,
one sec. Sorry, my computer unmuted itself.
Here we
good.
go.
Yeah, we're good. Sorry.
Okay.
So I'm happy to move a motion for approval subject of the amended application by the applicant and subject to the condition in the staff report about the variance 1 and variance 10 being developed substantially in accordance with the site plan, roof plan, and east side elevation drawings submitted to the Committee of Adjustment and attached as attachments 1, 2, and 3 to the staff report. And I believe forestry condition 1 is applicable.
Do we need to, for staff, do we need to go through those specific variances, or we're sufficient based off the numbers that were read off the public notice? Okay. Okay, very good. So we have a motion. Do I have a, Ms.
There's
Martin?
also a forestry condition.
We did get that. Urban forestry number 1?
Metrolinx?
Metrolinx is advisory, and I don't think this application is close enough to be impacted.
Okay.
I'll second that motion,
Okay,
Mr. Chair.
second by Mr. Fazeli. All in favor? Do we get, is it, Ms. Martin, you voted in favor? Sorry, I didn't see your hand. Okay, that's unanimous. The motion carries. The application as amended is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Okay, item number 3, 45, 40 to 47 Laird Drive. We've got 2 variances before us. Related to use and the number of parking spaces. On file, I have material from the applicant. Sorry, I should also note, the purpose of the application is to permit a physiotherapy and rehabilitation clinic. And we've got 2 variances, the number for use and the number of parking spaces. On file, I've got material from the applicant, a staff report from planning, memo from transportation, and an email from Metrolinx. We have the applicant with us.
yes, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning. Your name and address,
Good morning.
please.
My name is Tony Mellis. It's Melles. The address is 355 Eglinton Avenue East in Toronto.
Okay. I also see another speaker listed as agent. Do we have an agent as well? And will you guys one of you be presenting, or both of you, or?
Actually, I'll be the only person presenting. Irina, who was the other person registered, was the architect. And she's actually chose to watch the proceedings on the YouTube channel.
Oh, very good. Okay. And just to confirm with staff, we also have a neighbor on this item to speak. So, very good. Okay, I'm going to ask for a very brief presentation from you at this time. Let's get the 5 minutes up. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I don't think I'll take 5 minutes. My name is Tony Mellis. As I said earlier, I am a registered physiotherapist in the province of Ontario. I'm also a co-owner of Mellis Repus Developments, Inc., which is the company that has purchased 47 LAIRD. So the company actually owns commercial spots where we operate physiotherapy and rehabilitation clinics from. And we are hoping that we would be able to operate a physiotherapy and rehab clinic at 47 LAIRD through a company by the name of Achieva Health, which also I'm a co-owner of. So we believe that the location is perfect for a physiotherapy clinic. We've done our background homework on the area, and we believe that we would be a great fit for the area because we focus on older adults, and we think that they will be using the service once it's approved. We have a funding agreement with the Ministry of Health that provides government-funded physiotherapy for those that are eligible. Those are for people that are over the age of 65 or under 19, those that are Ontario Works or on ODSP, or anyone under the age or between the ages of 19 and 65 who've had surgery for joint replacement. So we want to provide the services for those in the clinic. If seniors are well enough to come into the clinic, then our services would allow for going to their homes to bring the services to them in the community. And the community is the Leaside community and also the Thorncliffe Park area. So the permitted use when we purchased the building was for professional offices, and we thought that the physiotherapy services would be permitted under that. And so there's been some discussion on that. And in discussions with the city staff, they told me that they would be providing some documentation that would support our application or our use for a physiotherapy clinic. And I think that's pretty much it for me.
Okay. I do see that transportation staff have weighed in, and they are requesting a deferral to allow time for a parking analysis. Would you be able to provide just a little bit of commentary with respect to where that part of the application is at? Have you spoken with transportation staff, and why do you feel that a parking study is or is not, I guess, warranted in this case?
Yes, thank you. I have not spoken to transportation. I can tell you, though, with our experience working with this demographic, most of the patients that come to the clinic would be taking public transportation. So that would be TTC, which stops pretty much at the door. And if they are taking wheel-trans, then we would be making arrangements to bring them into the rear, where there would be a large entrance allowing easy access for them.
Okay. Okay. Any questions?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I want to ask the applicant to comment on this staff report. Are you okay with the comments that the staff report mentioned?
Actually, let's
sorry,
pull
was
the
the
staff
question-
report up. Can we pull the memo from Transportation Services up, dated May 24th? Oh, sorry. Do you asking for the staff report or the memo? No, staff. Oh, I apologize. Let's pull the staff report up. Okay.
I think that's what they indicated to me in discussions, that as far as they were concerned that a medical clinic for physiotherapy or rehabilitation would be a permitted use. The neighbor two over has a fitness boutique across the street. There's a pharmacy, a dental clinic as well. And over on Industrial, which is one block to the north, there is a large medical clinic as well.
Through you, Mr. Chair, a follow-up question. The response is not clear from the applicant. I'm referring to the two recommendations that the staff has. One is they're recommending the maximum interior floor area for the proposed use will be 699 square meters. I'd like to hear the comment on that. And on the second recommendation is overnight stays for treatment/recovery shall not be permitted. Could the applicant kindly explain about this?
Well, yes, thank you. Yes, there's no overnight stays. This will be for day use only. We're not set up for any kind of an overnight stay, and that's not part of our business model. And then in terms of the interior, 699 square meters, yes.
Okay. Very good.
And that would be split up for treatment rooms, assessment rooms. There's education rooms to educate the seniors about preventing falls. There is an upper floor that's included in those square meters, but that's all staff area and we think storage area. There'll be no services provided up there.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions?
Okay.
Okay, I'd like to move on to our next speaker for this item.
Oh, I believe they're in person, Mr. Chair, but I've been advised that they don't want to speak at this time.
Okay, sure. Very good. Okay, I will go back to members and ask if there's any other clarifying questions before we head into committee for decision on this. Okay, no other questions. Let's move into committee. Sure, Ms. Martin.
Okay, I propose to approve this application subject to the staff report. I think that it's fitting with the neighborhood and meets the four tests for the Committee of Adjustment.
And that's just, the staff report is the community planning report? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to disregard then transportations. Do we want to include?
I don't, yeah, that's how I feel. I think that I just want to approve subject to this planning report.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a motion. Do we have a seconder for that motion? Ms. Casson seconds the motion. All in favor? Okay, it is unanimous. Motion is approved. Application is approved.
Thank you.
Okay. But update to the speakers. Okay, very good. Okay, thank you. All right, moving on. Item number 4. Just having some technical challenges here. Moment, please. 246 Overbrook Place. This is an application to convert the existing garage to a residential unit. The two variances before us related to parking space conversion, parking space location, front yard landscaping, front yard soft landscaping, and a parking space reduction. On file, I have material from the applicant and a memo from transportation. We have the applicant with us.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. Your name and address, please?
My name is Louisa Chulafi. Address is 246 Overbrook Place at M3H4R7, postal code Toronto.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to ask my colleagues whether or not they require a presentation on this item. Okay, it doesn't appear we require presentation. We've reviewed all the material and we're ready to move into committee for a decision if that's okay with you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's move into committee. Yes, Ms. Cassie.
Mr. Chair, I'm happy to start off. I was originally kind of concerned about this because of the lack of landscaping. I have no problem with converting the garage to a residential unit, but the parking tends to obliterate any landscaping. But then I realized that the lot goes over to the adjacent street. So they do have, although not ideal maybe, they do have soft landscaping in the front yard. So I really don't have big concerns with that, but I'll let my colleagues weigh in. I would just add that it seems to be a pre-existing condition. It's not like they're creating a new parking spot. It's already there, that they're parking on the interlock pavers. And if no one else has comments, I could make a motion. I would make a motion to approve this application. I think it is minor, and it meets the 4 tests. It's creating an additional residential unit. It's not the most attractive looking maybe from a landscaping perspective, but I also think it's not making it worse than what it already is. So I will make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second? Okay, second by Ms. Martin. Thank you. All in favor? Okay, that's unanimous. Motion carries. Application is approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Item number 5, 22 King High Avenue. The purpose of the application is a proposal to construct a new dwelling. We've got some variances before us, including front yard landscaping, lot coverage, front exterior main wall height, number of stories, building depth, number of platforms on a rear main wall, as well as the deck or platform area at a second story. On file, I've got material from the applicant, staff report from community planning, as well as a memo from urban forestry. You have the applicant?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and address, please.
My name is Sarah Barkley from Rubinoff Design Group, and the address is 18 Gloucester Lane, Toronto.
Welcome. Okay, just hold on there for a minute. I'm going to ask my colleagues whether or not they require a presentation on this item. Okay, it doesn't appear that we require a presentation, so if it's all right with you, we are prepared to move into committee for decision.
Mr. Chair, might I ask, since there's no presentation, if the members feel they want to approve it, can they please read out the condition in the staff report, if they so choose?
Yes, thank you. Can we pull this, let's just pull the staff report up. So we've got a planning staff report, and they're making a recommendation to tie the north and south side elevation drawings to any approval. And we also have we've got a forestry condition in there as well, forestry number 1. So to the applicant, you're aware of the recommendations, conditions, any concern or comment?
Yes, no, we're fine with the recommendation to be tied to the elevations, and we have already submitted an application with forestry.
Okay, very good. Okay, anything else you'd like to add then before we jump back into committee?
No, nothing to add, but happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's move into committee.
Mr. Chair, I can make a motion to approve this application, subject to the condition in the planning staff report that the proposal be developed in accordance with the north and south side elevation drawings submitted to the Committee of Adjustment on April 9th, attached as attachments number 1 and 2 to the report that is dated May 28th, 2024, subject to forestry condition number 1. I think that the application is meets the 4 tests. It's minor, and it is supportable.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a seconder? Okay, second by Ms. Martin. All in favor? Okay, that's unanimous. Motion carries. Application is approved with condition.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Item number 6. 154 WICKSTEED Avenue. The purpose of the application, its current application, is proposing to increase the number of permitted stories from 6 to 7 stories, while the overall height of the building will continue to maintain its overall metric height, which is below 33.5 meters. We've got some variances, combined variances pertaining to the number, a combined variance pertaining to the number of permitted stories in height. On file, I've got material from the applicant, a memo from Engineering and Construction Services, and an email from Metrolinx. Do we have the agent? We've got the agent in person. Please come on down to the mic, make sure it's on, and if you can state your name and address for us.
Sure, thank you. So I'm Sean McGaffey, Senior Associate with WND Associates, and our address is 90 Eglinton Avenue East, Suite 970, Toronto, Ontario, M4P 2Y3.
Okay, very good. Before we get in any further, I see we've got another speaker, an interested party. Are they here with us to speak? Okay, very good. All right. Let's get a brief presentation from you.
Sure.
On this.
Yeah, no problem. And so through you, Mr. Chair, we're back again on 154 WICKSTEED. This was previously heard by the Committee of Adjustment in September 2023, which granted a height variance and a increase in the gross floor area that was associated with redeploying some of the parking space below grade into a secure data storage facility for the previous prospective tenant. Our client and the owner have been working with Economic Development Toronto to try and secure a tenant for this building, as it is part of the Leaside Innovation Centre and is a new purpose-built office building. The previous application was heard because there was a tenant interested that needed a higher floor-to-floor height for every floor. They needed to increase that because there was significant ventilation and HVAC requirements for laboratories on those floors. Unfortunately, that tenant is no longer able to pursue tenancy in this project, and so going back, working with Economic Development Toronto, they have a new prospective tenant who is interested in locating in the building. However, they do not need those such great floor-to-floor ceiling heights on every level. What they do need, though, is one additional floor. And so what we're able to do here is really there's no change to the approved GFA. Building height remains the same, loading, parking, all of that remains as previously reviewed by the Committee of Adjustment and city staff. And really what we're talking about is reducing the height of each floor and inserting one more floor. So really the change to the exterior of the building will be there, as you can see on the elevation, the insertion of one floor at the upper level and the reduction in height of the other floors to make up for it. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have, but that's why I'm here today.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I have a question. Could you just explain, I think I noted somewhere there was a step back at the 5th floor previously and you're eliminating that. Could you just explain what the purpose of that step back was?
Yeah, so the previous step back was associated really just as part of the architectural design. In the original iteration, because the lot has a triangular portion at the east end, it sort of came together in a Flatiron type building along WICKSTEED Avenue where it curves or there's a chicane. They're really just simplifying the built form, and that's the elimination of that feature. So it's sort of squaring off the building as opposed to having that projecting element. And that's really for structural considerations, and they're interested that this new prospective tenant is interested in pursuing a mass timber construction, and so there's a need to sort of simplify the structure.
So it was nothing to do with shadow impact or angular plane or anything like that?
No, and we've included a full shadow study as part of the submitted plans as well. If,
Thank you.
We'd like to turn to them.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. We're going to hear from our other speaker.
Just bear with us, Mr. Chair. The interested party was online. However, they are no longer there. We're currently reaching out.
Okay, thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I've reached out. The speaker does not wish to speak. She's just listening online.
Okay, very good. I will go back just to check. We don't have any other questions at this time. Looks like we're ready to move into committee for decision. Okay. All right, let's move into committee.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I think, well, I propose, I forward a motion to approve this application. I think the explanation of the applicant was convincing, the matter that the 6 stories with the height and the explanation of how it's become 7 stories. So for that, I think the application is consistent with the character of the neighborhood, maintains the intent of the official plan, zoning by law, and is minor, and it's considered appropriate development for the site. I don't believe if there is any other conditions or anything. Let me double check. No.
Okay, so we've got a motion, we've got a second by Ms. Casson. All in favor? Okay, unanimous, the motion carries, application is approved. Thank you very much. Congrats, sir, you have your approval. Okay, item number 7. 14, TREADGOLD Crescent. Purpose of the application is to construct a second-story addition to the existing dwelling in conjunction with other interior and exterior alterations. We've got some variances before us, including roof, eave projection, driveway width, front yard setback, east side yard setback, and west side yard setback. On file, I have material from the applicant, memo from transportation, form letters of support from number 1, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17, 42, 44, 53, and 59 TREADGOLD Crescent. We also have a late staff report that came in from community planning with making some recommendations for some modifications. Do we have the applicant here? We've got him online.
In the meantime, Mr. Chair, we can put up the late staff report, just so
Yes.
everyone's clear,
Thank
while we wait for the applicant.
Of course. Given that the staff report came in late, would just like to start by asking the applicant whether or not. Hello. Your name and address?
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear us?
Hello.
We can hear you, but we can hear you. All right.
Yeah, finally, Yes, something went wrong. Sorry.
You're with us now,
I
so
just got.
your name and
Yeah,
address?
okay. Yeah, my name is Mr. Chair, members of the committee. My name is Zoran Tirnanik. I'm from Selectus Architecture. I'm the agent, 44 Ramsey Road, East York, Ontario, M4G 1 and 8.
Okay. And sir, you're aware of the staff report that came in from community planning? It's up on the screen.
Yes, yes, I
Okay.
am aware. I spoke a few times with them, and then they were having concern about massing. My comment was that for 6-inch difference, I don't, but the issue is the second floor where the master bedroom becomes very, very narrow, but I don't have any choice. If this is the requirement from planning department, I will accept it, yeah.
You do have a choice. So what's come out of the planning department are recommendations. The recommendations are made, just essentially the recommendations there. It is what it says, a recommendation. So we can choose to take those recommendations or not. If you feel that the recommendations, you would not like to incorporate the recommendations, I'd like to provide you an opportunity to, give us a little bit of information as to why you'd like to
Okay.
keep the variances the way they are.
Okay.
But you also have the option of
yeah.
modifying them if you choose.
Okay, so let me go back from the number one, where this number one item is out of the list. It's not available anymore. The number about the setback, we position our building on existing setback, which is where the carport was there. And then before we did this, we spoke with the neighbors on the right side, number 12, and they says, fine, we don't have any problem with this. And the way how we designed the building is because this is an addition of the second story, and that wall between the carport and the building is a bearing wall, and it carries also the significant part of the second floor. So it's going to stay there. And then between that wall and the property line, there is a very narrow strip. And with the 2 feet of the setback, the master bedroom and everything in that area is only 12 feet wide. So we thought that 12 feet is not such a big number. So, but before we made this decision, we spoke with the neighbors, and they are very happy with the new proposal. They don't see any problem. They don't see any difference in 6 inches from 62 to 77. It's only 15 centimeters, 6 inches. So if you ask me, I would like this to stay as it is, I don't know if I'm in jeopardy to lose this hearing. I cannot afford it. That's for sure,
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well,
So,
I'd like to ask other members if they have any questions for you.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
Through you,
Yes.
I'm just unclear if the applicant is making the changes. If the applicant is making the changes, can I request the applicant read them for the record?
Of course. I'll let the applicant answer. My understanding is they wish to leave the application as is. But he's stated that if it comes down to it, the modifications, he would prefer an approval with modification over an outright refusal, is my understanding.
Well, I think just
yes.
out of procedural fairness,
Yeah.
I don't think the applicant should be afforded the opportunity to sort of wait to see what you say.
Yeah.
If he's going to make the changes, he should make them up front so the panel, in fairness to you, know what you're looking at. Otherwise, you're looking at two options, right? Whether you approve it or modify it. But it's easier if the applicant decides whether he wants to go forward without the modifications or to go forward with the modifications, so the panel is clear what version they're looking at.
Okay, very good. So I go back to the applicant. You've just heard from our deputy,
Yes.
our secretary treasurer. Would you like to modify any of the variances?
if I have to make decision, I would modify this to setback to be a 0.777. I cannot jeopardize this.
Okay, fair enough. So we're going to modify variance number 5 to 0.77. And concerning variance number 1, are we going to keep that or are we going to eliminate that?
No, the variance number 1 never existed. It was a mistake by the, I don't want to bug you with this, but that was mistake by the zoning.
Staff, are we back online? We're back? Staff, any delay at this point? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. Apologize. We've been having some technical issues today at North York Civic Center. The power has gone out on us a second time, this time in the middle of our hearing. We were on item number 7, the subject address number 14, TREADGOLD Crescent. I'm going to ask staff if we can get the applicant back online with us.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, just give us a second. We just want to make sure our YouTube stream is up and running.
Of course.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I'm not sure if my comments got captured in the online streaming, so I'll just very quickly, the power went out at North York Civic
Hello?
Center a second time today in the middle of our hearing. We were on item number 7, the subject address number 14, TREADGOLD Crescent. I'm just going to ask staff.
Hello?
We can get our applicant back online. I think I hear him now. Do we have Mr. Turninick with us?
I don't know, do you hear me? But I don't hear you.
We can hear you. We can hear you, yes. Can you hear us?
Okay, so I'm reading what you're saying because I don't have a sound from you.
Okay. Let's try to get this. We're going to try to resolve this. Yeah. Okay.
Mr. Chair, we'll check one more time, but it might be the applicant might have to log out and log back in which case we can move to the next item. So just give us 30 seconds to confirm.
Okay.
Okay. So at this point, can you please ask the applicant to log out, log back onto the WebEx, and we'll return to him, and we'll move on to item number 8 in the meantime.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I can log out and come back. I'll try that.
Oh, well, now you can hear us. Okay.
Or is he reading subtitles?
Oh, right. Okay. So why don't we just to be safe, Mr. Chair, if the applicant can log out and log back into the WebEx, the connection might have been broken. In the meantime, we will move on to item number 8, and if the applicant for 7 could just stay put once he relogs in, and we will return to item number 7 in due time.
Very good. Okay, so we're going to hold item number 7, and right now let's move on to item number 8, 29 Dane Avenue. The purpose of the application is to construct a new dwelling. We've got 2 variances before us, one for front yard setback and the other one for driveway width. On file, I have material from the applicant, staff report from community planning, and a memo from transportation. Do we have the applicant with us?
Yes, Chair, committee members, my name is Enzo Lacasano. I am from Arch DWG, and I am the representative for this application.
Okay, thank you. And sir, I believe you're aware of the planning report that came with some recommendations?
Yes.
As well as some of the recommendations out of the transportation memo?
That's correct.
Okay, very good. Just hold with us for a moment. I'm going to ask my colleagues whether or not they require a full presentation on this item. Okay. And it doesn't appear we need a full presentation. I just want to confirm that the applicant is okay with the recommendations noted in the staff report from Planning and Transportation.
Yes, we are aware of them. It's an existing condition. Because again, technically, we are maintaining the existing foundation walls and the existing west and north wall of this house. But due to not being able to save 50% or more of the walls, this is now a new constructed house, even though it will be technically a reno as well, because we are maintaining the north wall and the west wall. So the existing driveway and the existing garage on the lot will remain as is.
Okay, very good. Okay, any questions at this time? Okay, we don't have any questions. We are ready to move into committee.
Sure.
Ms. Martin.
Mr. Chair, I propose to approve this application subject to the planning and transportation reports.
Okay. Do I have a second? Okay, second by Mr. Fazeli. All in favor? Okay, it's unanimous. Motion passes. The application as amended is approved.
Thank you so much, and good luck with the rest of the hearings.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for your patience with us. Staff, can we jump back to item 7 at this time? Or should we? Okay, I'm going to move to item number 9, and when we get that applicant back, we will jump back to item number 7. But in the interest of time, let's move on to item number 9. The subject address, 19 West Grove Crescent. This is an application to construct a new dwelling. We've got variances before us for lot coverage, number of stories, building length, building depth, rear yard setback, number of platforms off a rear main wall, and the area of a second-story platform. On file, have material from the applicant, form letters of support from number 3, 7, 9, 15, 16, 18, 24, and 25 West Grove Crescent, as well as 390 and 389 Glen Grove Avenue. I also have a letter of objection from number 386 Glen Grove Avenue. And do we have the applicant with us?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Your name and address for us?
Chris Yanis, 41 Yorkshire Road.
Can you speak up just a little bit? Make sure that we captured that.
Chris Zianis, 41 Yorkshire Road.
Fantastic. There we go. Okay. Just hold on for a moment. Don't have any other speakers on this item. I'm going to ask my colleagues whether or not they require a presentation. Yeah, I do see that there are some concerns that were raised by the neighbors, so perhaps a brief presentation would be helpful for us.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
So there was a previous application that was approved by Committee of Adjustment in 2022. All of the variances that we are seeking approval for have already been approved in that previous approval, but the previous approval was tied to plans because of a height variance. With this application, we're no longer asking for a height variance. If staff wants to pull up my presentation material real quick. So this first page, at the bottom of the first page, there's the zoning statistics. The far right column represents what was previously approved. The middle column is what we are proposing. All of the variances that have been previously approved that we are asking for are actually slightly less in this application. For instance, the coverage that we're asking for is 45.74%, where 47.25% was previously approved. The next page shows a site plan comparing the two designs. The red line represents the new outline of the proposed dwelling, whereas the shaded area was what was previously approved. The actual coverage of each dwelling is at 39.2%, so they are they're basically the same coverage in terms of the dwelling itself. The deck in both cases is also included in this coverage calculation because of the fact of the excavated area under this concrete deck, which is a part of the basement space. And that's where you get the 1.5% difference between what was previously approved and what we're asking for. It should also be noted that the previous application had a side yard setback variance for 3 feet or 900 mils on the north side, where we're not asking for that anymore. The next page is just a context map of the neighborhood and showing coverages of greater than 39% coverage that have been approved in the past. Like I said, the coverage in terms of the dwelling itself is 39% that we're asking for. The additional space comes from the covered deck. The third slide, the next slide rather, shows elevation comparisons between what's proposed now and what was previously approved. And as you can see, what was previously approved was a lot heavier in massing. And like I previously said, the planning approval or the planning recommendation was to tie that approval to plans because of the elevations and the height variance of main wall height and overall height. In our proposed, we have a lot less of a massing, and we've removed the main wall height and overall height variances altogether. I will say that these are new owners of the property, and that's why there's a redesign of the house. The last page in my presentation, again, just shows the previous notice of decision, and our proposal for today in blue shows the difference in variances. That's the last page in the last couple of pages. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Just a quick follow-up
No
question. Actually, you know what? I'm okay. I see it on the site plan. I had a question just with respect to the building length and building depth of the building, not including the covered deck, because my understanding is there's a portion of that that's contributing to the variance, but that also may not be the case. That just may be because of the
That's correct.
nature of the way that the angle's taken from the street and where that line essentially starts on an angle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any questions?
Yeah, so the actual dwelling is not within the rear yard setback, but the deck below grade and that area is what's causing the rear yard setback, as well as the length and depth are taken to that rear back main wall of the deck and not necessarily the house above grade, right?
I see that, yes. Okay, thank you for that clarification.
You're welcome.
Any questions at this time?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I have a question for the applicant. In terms of the building depth and length, would the applicant be able to give us some comparison within the neighborhood with similar, given that this is included of the deck coverage?
Not offhand. I'm sure there are quite a bit. I have done other projects within this neighborhood and know of other projects within this neighborhood that, this scenario is quite popular. What I will say again, I will reiterate that these variances for this property were previously approved for more than what we're asking for now, right? And had it not been for the planning recommendation to tie the plans to the height and main wall of the last proposal, we would not have to be here seeking approval for the same variances again.
Fair enough.
you.
Any other questions? Okay, let's move this into committee. Thank the agent for his presentation there. Okay. Comments, motion?
I can start, Mr. Chair. I think that there are a lot of variances on this application, but as we noted, were previously approved by committee, a number of them. And in this case, the applicant's actually bettering the variances, if that's a term. So I think that although there are quite a few, I think that what they're proposing is minor, can be considered minor, it's appropriate. I think it meets the 4 tests. However, I would like to tie it to the site plan, substantially be developed in accordance with the site plan, and a condition that the covered and uncovered decks, which I noted on the site plan, remain unenclosed. And there are no forestry conditions.
Thank you for that. Do I have a second? Okay, second by Mr. Fazeli. All in favor? Okay, that is unanimous. The motion passes. The application with condition is approved.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
You as well. Okay, staff, where are we at with our agent from 14 TREADGOLD Crescent? Fantastic. Okay, so just for procedure, we're moving to item number 7, which we were previously on prior to the power going out on us. The subject address is number 14 at TREADGOLD Crescent. So let's get the agent back.
So I'm back, Zoran Tirnanik.
And sorry, sir, you've got your, just again for us, if you can just give us your address and name. You've given.
Okay, yeah, my name is Zoran Tirnanik, 44 Ramsey Road, East York, Ontario, M4G1N8.
Okay. And I just have to say thank you for your patience with us. I apologize. It's it's not usual for the power to go out in the middle of a hearing here. Okay, so just going back, it was my understanding that you had made modifications to the application, specifically to 2 variances. If we can just pull that up. Thank you. So if you can just confirm for us that we're eliminating variance number 1 and we are modifying variance number 5 to 0.77
Yes.
meters? Okay. Okay.
Yes, I'm confirming that, yeah.
Very good. Okay. And we have some, I believe we have just a couple questions, clarifying questions for you.
Thanks,
Yes.
Mr. Chair. I want to ask a question about, like I see in the package we have like 3 photos. I know it might not be relevant, I'm not sure, but I just want to hear from the applicant because on the comment it says front is scheduled for removal. Are you removing that tree and yes or no?
The tree is already gone.
I see.
Yeah. The tree is gone. The city carried, yeah. It's already done, yeah.
Okay.
It's done by the city. The tree was dead, and we have a picture of the cutting, so it's already gone. Yeah.
Thank you for that clarification. Sure. Yeah, we're just trying to understand a little bit about the condition. If we can pull up the site plan, we're trying to understand a little bit about the condition of the area where the proposed addition is. But just trying to have a little bit understanding about why, with respect to that side yard setback variance, and are we building within an existing footprint? Are there existing foundations that we're building on, or are we constructing an addition with a new foundation from scratch?
Okay. Yeah. If you look carefully at the site plan at the back, there is a dotted line. So the carport was at the front, and at the back behind the carport, the client had some kind of shed, which was illegally, and it's going to be taken down. We are proposing to be taken down. And then the building had that shape that might be puzzling for you, but that's because that's the part of the master suite with the bathroom, walk-in closet, and the bedroom, so it's sticking out. And it couldn't be done differently because of the pool, and we didn't want to close the pool and access to pool, so so everything on the left side is addition plus the second floor. You know,
Okay. So
from the yeah.
the intent would be to tear down the carport structure and then excavate
Yes.
a new foundation along the side to establish a new side main wall along that property line there.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, very good. Okay.
Sorry, one more question and clarification. What was the side yard beside the carport, between the carport and the property line?
It's exactly what it's what we are keeping the same. It was 2 feet, and we thought that it's normal to keep the same setback. But then as I explained before, the planning department was asking for additional 6 inches. I don't know why the 6 inches makes a big difference, but as I stated before, I cannot gamble this and that's I don't know how to behave at this point, because the neighbor on the left, he doesn't have any objection. He signed a letter of support, and as I stated before, I'm accepting the proposal from the planning department of additional 6 inches of setback, even though I don't see any significant improvement, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
I also just, seeing as that the garage is being maintained, I question whether or not the loss of that 6 inches is going to affect the width for the parking.
It's going to affect everything. Everything is getting so tight. I told you, it's 12 feet above.
Okay.
And it's getting ridiculous. Now,
That's it. Thank you. It's very helpful. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much, sir. At this time, we're going to move into committee for a decision for you. Do you want to start us off?
Sure, I can start us off. Through you, Mr. Chair, I think this application is pretty minor, what is being proposed as is, without being amended, other than eliminating variance 1 as indicated in the staff report, because what the applicant has indicated is it wasn't required in the first place. So I'm okay with that. The staff recommendation to modify the variance to make it wider, I really don't think the 6 inches is going to have a big impact on anyone. The neighbor isn't complaining, and I think it's minor what's being requested. It's a modification to an existing house. This is not a new house situation. It would impact the garage, and it would impact the new space on the second floor. So if there's no objection from my colleagues, I'm ready to make a motion to approve the application other than to eliminate variance 1 as is. There are no forestry conditions, and transportation didn't have any objections, so that my motion stands.
Okay, and we have a second by Mr. Fazeli. All in favor? Okay, that's unanimous. The motion is approved. The application is approved as amended.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You got your setback, sir. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so we are jumping forward now. Let's see here. Thank you. Item number 10. 1763 and 1765 Avenue Road. The purpose of the application is to construct an additional 4-story building with 2 residential units at the rear of an existing building currently used as a parking area and a 3rd story over the existing building. On file, we've got a number of variances, including the number of visitor parking spaces, the distance between main walls, rear yard setback, FSI, and emission of a step back at the top of a 2nd story. On file, I have material from the applicant, staff report from community planning, a memo from transportation, and a letter from a concerned resident. We have our agent with us. Oh, agent and owner, welcome. You're the owner. Okay. And if just let's turn on the mic so we can hear you. If we just get your name and address.
Hello, my name is Roger Molyneux. The address, the 1763 1765 Avenue Road. I'm the sole owner of that company, of the Roger International Inc., which owns this property.
Very good. Sir, you are aware of the staff reports that have come in on this item?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask if just pull them up. So community planning is recommending refusal of the application. We're hoping to get a few words from you just to speak to that.
Okay. The actually, I just there are 5 variants. You know, I believe there one just mistake of that the FAR. It's a supposed 3. It's right now it's a 3.007. That's easy to correct.
So there's, sorry, I don't want to get too far. So you're saying we're going to amend the public notice, some of the variances on the public notice you would like to amend?
There are 5 variants, okay. There are 1 variance about the FAR.
Yes.
The suppose a 3.0.
Correct, 0001.
Yeah, and the here, as I can't say very clear, it's a 3.007. 001. Oh, sorry. That can be keep as a 3.0. That's easy. That's a mistake, I think.
No, he's amending it, but is that 0.001? So you want to remove 0.001 square meters off of that?
Yeah.
And change it to 3?
Yeah. That can be changed.
Okay.
Okay. And well, in order to gain these 2 units, you know, basically I'm asking the setback, front and the back, and the height is no problem, and the parking is existing. There's no change of parking.
Okay. Any questions at this time? We're going to come back to you, but I believe there's some other speakers as well. But any clarifying questions we want to get out of the way now?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I just want to make sure I understood it right. So the applicant is changing only variance number 4. You're not changing anything else, right?
You're correct.
Okay, thanks.
Mr. Chair, can I just clarify, if he's changing it to 3, should he not just eliminate that variance? Like, what is that 3 representing?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, is it the as of right is 3? I presume. Then, if he's changed it to 3, then he's. Okay. I see.
Can you please clarify which, is it variance 4 we're talking about?
It's variance number 4. It's been amended to a total floor space index of 3, which now appears as now compliant with the bylaw. So it looks like we, instead of modifying that, would be able to remove, but that's for the applicant to decide. Sir, it appears that we can remove variance number 3 altogether. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. I'm sorry, number 4, variance number 4,
number
related
4.
to the FSI, or is, as you put it, the FAR.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we can eliminate.
Yeah.
We're going to eliminate
3.0.
number 4.
3.0. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just, we're eliminating it altogether. Is that what you're?
Yeah, I just eliminate number 3.
4.
Number 4, yeah,
Okay,
eliminate number 4.
Just want to be clear. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions at this time? Okay. We do have 2 other speakers. I'd like to hear from them, and then we're going to come back to you.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Hi there.
Hi. Your name and address,
Hi.
please.
My name is Father Santo Arrigo, Santo, last name Arrigo, Arrigo. I am located at 426 St. Germain Avenue, property immediately east of the subject lands.
Okay. And you have 5 minutes to address us with your support or concerns.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. We did send through our representatives of Miller Thompson a letter with regards to the minor variance application. We, as the neighbors directly to the east, we do share the support of what the city has raised as concerns about this application, mostly because of the access question to the back property, which runs adjacent to our access. The right-of-way access for the neighbors that live along that strip is not always well defined, and our concern is that there's question about access to the construction area and to the additional occupants that will be accessing that area through this construction.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Any questions at this time? So just to clarify, there is a laneway behind the subject property and the adjacent properties, and that is accessed off St. Germain Avenue, I presume, and the other flanking street on Melrose, right?
Well, there's a fence at where the subject property is right now. It's not a throughway. It only comes from St. Germain Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And the question of where is the right-of-way actually located, it's always blocked with vehicles, service trucks, and so forth, that the neighbors always access our property and our driveway to access their lands. Our concern is with the additional construction and the undefined area of the right-of-way, it makes us concerned about our property and in relationship to this application.
Okay, fair enough. And actually, can you just clarify again for us, which number are you at? I know you.
We're at 426.
You're at 426. Okay, so you're direct. Okay.
We're directly east of. I'm just looking at the drawing here that you have on your screen. If you go down a little bit, like lower. Need my glasses. We are where it says registered lot on your right-hand side. It should be plan or 151 from what I remember seeing on the other plan.
Okay, I see. And you guys also, and I presume that the parking lot as well is part of your property?
That's correct. And where it says framed garage, plan 151.
Yep.
That is ours as well.
Okay. Okay, very good. It's right there. Okay. Let's, do we have any questions at this time for this speaker? Okay. Let's get our other speaker. Just want to look at the survey as well. It appears actually that there is a easement, and I want to ensure that that easement is not being affected. Actually, before we move on to our next speaker, perhaps we can just get a little bit of clarification concerning that easement. Yeah, if we do, I guess they may be concerned of whether or not that easement is affected by the proposal or not. Maybe I'm going to ask the applicant, but before for this speaker, are you aware of the easement? I'm asking. Oh, sorry. I was asking our current speaker from the church.
Hi. From our understanding of the easement exists to the west of our driveway. That's our understanding. However, a lot of vehicles that go into the businesses that flank Avenue Road often park in the back all the way up to our driveway. And service trucks, service vehicles always use our driveway and laneway to the point where we can't access it when they're trying to deliver. And it's mostly because the vehicles that are there are using the what we understand the easement to be. So we're just concerned that if you add construction trucks and this new property or this new building onto that, where we understand the easement to be, it really constricts access to our property and also to the properties adjacent on the Avenue Road.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Thank you for giving us some clarification on that condition. Okay. We have another speaker I'd like to hear from before we go back to the applicant. Oh, I see. And sir, I see another speaker, but I believe they are listed as counsel for you. Is that correct?
Yes, I don't see the list here, but I believe yes.
Okay. Were they planning on speaking today?
Not necessarily.
Okay. Okay, let's go back to the applicant. We've got a couple questions, I'm sure. Welcome back, sir.
Yeah.
Could you provide us a little bit of clarity with respect to the easement and right of way at the back? There were some concerns that were brought forward with respect to the flow of traffic to and from the property that perhaps you can speak to.
Okay. Actually, you see this survey. My lot is just the end of the two laneway. One is from north, one is from south. There are two. North one is wider, planned like a 3.5 meter. The south one is narrower, 3 meters. So I can use both of the access to my property. That's number one. You know, it's a very small construction, like a 10 by 9 meters and 3 stories. Okay, and there is no basement construction. The whole planning, because I concern this kind of the very tight for construction and for the neighborhood. I talked to my immediate neighbor. They have no question about it. The whole existing parking lot will stay. You know, the structure only on top of it, only 4 columns support it. So once they do the construction, of course we're going to hire a professional construction management company will do some plan, make sure everything's properly done. But I think we got plenty of rooms to do this because the whole parking lot is empty, so they can put the stuff there overnight or being whatever. It won't take any adjacent whatever the property or laneway, you know. So that I don't think will create any construction troubles for the neighbors.
So if I understand correctly, you have an easement on either side of varying widths.
Yes, yes.
But they essentially terminate at your property line. They don't go, the easement does not cross through your property. It terminates at your on the side property lines on either side. Is that?
Yeah, on both sides, yes, exactly.
Okay. So there's, okay, yeah.
So because there are no basement construction, you know, the whole parking lot is empty. I can put anything there.
It's a bit of a unique situation. He's got
Yeah, it's
termination on
tight.
the
It's
spot
tight.
versus a neighbor which is required to maintain that easement. So I just wanted to clarify that that is the existing condition and that we're
That's
not
the existing condition. Yeah.
in
Yeah,
conflict of any existing.
Yeah,
easement.
existing
Okay.
condition. Yeah.
I thank you for that clarification. Any other questions? Yes, please, Ms. Martin.
Thank you. Can you provide some clarity on variance 3? Is your the minimum, the proposed rear yard setback, is it from the edge of the parking? I don't understand this, because it says minimum rear yard setback is 7.5 meters, and you're proposing 1.07 meters.
That's
So where is that from?
That's from edge of my property.
From where?
From my property, property line of the east line.
Yeah, but
You can see
to
the
what? To the
to
building?
the building, yes.
It doesn't look like that in your drawing.
Oh, you see the
Got
floor plan.
Parking, and you got 4 parking spots there.
Exactly. You can see the proposed site plan. This is existing.
So
go down there.
I can clarify, Member Martin. I think the building is proposed to be over top of the parking. So that's what brings it closer to the rear yard property line.
I don't see that in the drawings. I find them.
I think you're.
You see the.
There we go.
The,
go up.
Okay, section very clearly show that.
There you go.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Yes, this one. You see the 1.07 meter from property line, because the ground level existing parking stay as the way it is.
So it's like cantilevered over.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I have one other question. Did you consult with planning on your application and speak to them regarding their concerns about the proposal?
You mean my immediate left and right? I talked to them. There's no problem with it.
Sorry, not the neighbors, the staff, planning staff.
Oh, okay. I used to work for the Zyder architect firm. I'm architect, but the whole planning, everything I did myself.
Right, but did you talk to planning and discuss their concerns that are?
Yeah, I talked to the planning staff, and that's why you see the zoning review I did a couple of times, and they gave me some points.
But staff are concerned that you're not meeting the urban design guidelines for the upper.
Well, for that setback, because they you see on the street, there you see the site plan. My immediate neighbor, even the neighbor, like the speaker, that's a church. They most of the existing building, even the constructed garage, addition, whatever, they just sit like 1 meter from the property line. So I just follow, So
Mr. Chair, I just want to make sure
hopefully
the applicant understands the question.
Yeah.
I don't think you understand the question.
I think because he's talking about zoning examiner, I just want to clarify that. I just want to make sure he understands your question. And we can put up the staff report again, because I want the applicant to be absolutely sure he understands the recommendation from the planning department.
my question?
My question
Oh, you
to
asked my
you
question.
was, have you?
Okay, and I'm quite sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I think we're just trying to clarify that you understand. What I'm asking you is whether you had a discussion with planning staff, either Andrew Kim, who wrote this report.
No.
Okay.
No.
Would they benefit from?
Yes.
Is that something that perhaps you may benefit from in furthering discussions with planning staff? Because they have some pretty significant concerns. It's not often that we get, I mean, it's that they get a report recommending a refusal outright. If it is, it's usually something that we try to encourage the agent or applicant to at least engage in a discussion with staff, such that if they do come to committee saying, we've already spoken with staff, we reached a stalemate, we can't, but in this case, it appears you haven't afforded yourself the opportunity to.
Yeah, I didn't get any email or whatever I need to, I suppose, discuss with.
For sure. So I will put forth to you, it seems that there are some concerns with the application. It is your right to request a deferral.
Okay.
Should you wish to meet with staff and try to resolve some of the issues before it comes to us.
Yeah. I can talk to them.
If you'd like to make that request, we can put a motion to provide that opportunity to you to see if we can resolve some of these things.
Okay.
Prior.
Well, if it's necessary, I am willing to do that. Sure, I will do that, and they consult. If you think it's necessary.
It seems okay. It seems that it maybe benefit from that. I want to. Yeah. So okay. So then, would you be making a request for deferral to allow yourself an opportunity to consult with planning?
Sure, I'll make a request.
Okay. Okay. Let's move this into committee. Discussion, comments, motion.
I can make a motion.
Sure, Ms. Martin.
Make a motion to approve a deferral of this application to discuss planning report comments and hopefully resolve some issues related to this project.
Okay, do I have a seconder? Okay, second by Mr. Kubu. All in favor? Okay, opposed? And I will dissent on this one. So 3 in favor, one opposed, and one dissent. Okay. The motion's been passed. You have your deferral. I might suggest engaging in a discussion with planning staff to see if we can make some progress on this and hopefully, come with a little bit more support, or at least to know that we've exhausted that avenue when we're back here. So, okay. Thank you very much for coming down, sir. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You have your deferral. Okay. I think we're back now we're on item number 11. Okay, Alamosa. Item number 11, 74 Alamosa Drive. The purpose of the application is to construct a rear one-story addition to the existing dwelling. The applicant is also proposing to enclose the existing front porch in conjunction with other interior and exterior alterations. Before us, we've got a variance for side yard setback and front yard setback. And on file, I have material from the applicant. Do we have them with us?
Yes, I'm here. My name is Jeff Seidel from 74 Alamosa Drive.
Okay, thank you. Now, I'm going to ask my colleagues whether or not they require a presentation on this item. Okay. Good. Okay, it doesn't appear we need a presentation from you, sir. It looks like we're ready to move into committee for a decision. If there's anything you'd like to add, now is the time.
No, I respect the fact that you guys are running behind, so please go ahead.
Okay. All right, let's move into committee.
Mr. Chair, I'm ready to make a motion unless anyone has any concerns. I think this application is very minor. Just to add on to an existing house. I don't think it has an impact on very many people at all. There's no forestry conditions. I think it meets the 4 tests. So I'm ready to approve.
Okay, do I have a seconder? Okay, second by Ms. Martin, all in favor? Okay, that is unanimous. Motion carries. Application is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Item number 12. 277 Spring Garden Avenue. The purpose of the application is to construct a new dwelling. We've got some variances before us. East side yard setback for a rear platform, lot coverage, front and rear exterior main wall height, the number of stories, stair width, canopy encroachment into an east side yard setback, first floor height, area of a rear deck at a second story, as well as east and west side yard setbacks. On file, I have material from the applicant, staff report from community planning, memo from urban forestry, as well as a letter of concern from 292 Spring Garden Avenue, and a late staff report from planning. We have the agent with us.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, is Mr. Zhang?
Yes.
Your address, sir.
Okay,
Your name and address?
Yeah. My name is Michael Zhang. I'm from Fine Residence Development and 280 Sharp Avenue East, Unit 203.
Okay, sir, and it's my understanding that this is going to be an amended application, is that correct?
Yes, we actually improved item 1.
Okay, actually, let's pull up the public notice, and we're going to go through in order of the variances, and you're going to let us know which variances you're modifying.
Sure.
Okay, let's get that notice up. Great. Okay, when you're ready.
Okay, sure, yeah. So for the item 1, we actually shrink the rear deck 1 feet. So the side yard setback to the deck changed from 1.22 meter to 1.52 meter. And also the deck size has been shrank from 11.52 square meter to 10.8
Hold on. Let me explain how this got to work. We've got a public notice. I've got 9 variances on it. I need you to take us through the variances in order and explain which variances you're changing. And before you do that, please just let us know what the number of the variance is so we know which one you're talking about. So right now I have, you've requested to change variance number 1 from 1.22.
Yes, number 1.
Right. So you've decided to change that from 1.22 meters to 1.52 meters side yard setback.
5.2, yeah.
Okay, so that's done.
Yes.
Okay, let's go through the others. Any changes to number 2?
The number 2, we're gonna stay the same, make a 32% coverage.
Okay, 32.03.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for the number 3, actually I lowered down. So this property, the structure grade is actually lower than the center of the road.
We'll get into we'll get into the planning rationale after. Yeah. Let's just get the revisions, and then we can get into the merits of the application. Okay. So we're on number 3, and you're modifying number 3.
I modified the number 3, lower from 9.46 to 9.15 meters.
9.15 meters. Okay.
Yes.
So you're lowering the height to 9.15. Okay. And number 4?
Yes.
Is staying?
Number 4 stays. This is cause of, yeah.
Yep. Number 5?
number 5 stays, number 7 stays.
No, hold on.
Number 8.
Hold on,
number
hold on,
8.
hold on. Sir, you jumped from number 5 to number 7. Let's go back to number 6. What's happening with number 6? Staying, changing?
Number 6, I don't change it.
No changes
change.
to 6. Okay, now you can go to number 7. What are we doing there?
No change to 7.
Okay, number 8.
Number 8 has been shrunk from 11.52 square meter
Yep.
to 10.28.
Okay, and number 9.
No change.
No change. Okay, thank you. All right. You want to summarize all the changes? Sure. So variance number 1, we've got an amendment from 1.22 to 1.52. Variance number 2, there's no change. Variance number 3, there's a modification from 9.46 meters in height to 9.15 meters. Variance number 4, no change. Variance number 5, no change. Variance number 6, no change. Variance number 7, no change. Variance number 8 is being revised from 11.52 meters to 10.28 meters. And variance number 9, no change.
Great, thank you, Mr. Chair.
I'm going to ask the applicant just confirm that is correct.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, let's get I'm going to ask for a brief presentation from you, sir. We'll get the timer up, and the floor is yours.
Okay, so for this property, the established grade is actually lower than the center of the road, so it's a rare case. So that's why for the item 3, most of the front and back soffit is actually 8.23 meters. So this 9.15 meters is just for the front and the rear top of the building.
Okay.
But majority of them is 8.23 meters for the 2 sides and part of for the rear.
Okay, very good.
And for the item 2, this is just caused by the change of the zoning because the middle of the basement height is just slightly higher than the established grade.
Of
course. I think this is quite common with this type of design of the house. For number 5, this is just for the front stairs width. I believe this is a minor variance as well. For the item number 6, so the setback is less than 1.8 meters. Now it's 1.22. But with 1.8 meters, actually we're allowed to have 2.5 meters encroach. Since I only have 1.22 meters, so for this canopy, the encroachment is 1.47. So it's actually proportional being strict down. And for the number 7, it's just the first floor is slightly higher than the zoning requirement. And for the number 8, this is talking about the rear deck, and I've been lower and shrink the deck size as well. For the number 9, I think this is quite common for the lot in this area, especially for the frontage less than 50. And for this property, the front size is only 40 feet. So I have 4 feet on each side. That's it.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Any questions? Okay, we don't have any questions. Right. And seeing as we have no other speakers on this item, let's move into committee now. I did. Do you have, you have got some questions? No, of course, sir. Well, take us out of committee, and we have some clarifying questions that we'd like to get out of the way.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a question about the side yard setbacks, the 1.22. Do you have evidence of any other approvals by the committee of that within the neighborhood? Because staff are indicating that it's not
Yes.
consistent with the character. Thank you.
Yes, so actually 225 Elmwood is really close to the property and it's got a 4 feet setback for each side.
Any more?
If I remember correct, I think 277 Elmwood is also 40 frontage and I also got like 4 feet setback as well. Also 183 Norton Avenue has the 4 feet setback. One 57 Parkview Avenue has a 4 feet setback as well. And the 203 Elmwood has a 4 feet setback.
It's yeah. Yeah. Okay. Other questions? Okay. Thank you, sir. Doesn't appear we have any other questions at this time. Let's go back into committee. Ms. Martin.
I just want to note that the two houses on either side of this proposal have larger setbacks for the buildings, and it's shown on the site plan.
See that.
Well, I note that. I think that there are a lot of houses in the neighborhood that do have the 1.2 meter setback, like a 4-foot setback of the newer houses. But I do see what you mean. On either side, there is a larger setback. It's just generally, we grant variances. There probably isn't a house, not many houses in the neighborhood that meet that 1.8 meter setback.
It is, if you look at the sort of lot division of the block pattern too, the lot, just based on the average kind of width frontage on the street, it is a slightly smaller lot too, compared to some of the others on the street. But just be mindful of, you know, you incorporate those step backs and how much of a building are you left with when you're contending with a smaller lot width, smaller frontage.
I agree. That's a really good point, and that's why the 1.2 isn't that offensive to me in terms of a variance, but I'll see if anyone else has any other comments.
I do have one other comment, just maybe you can shed some light. Like, the building height, is it going to be higher than what is in the character of the neighborhood? If he maintains the height that he wants to maintain at 9, because there's nothing showing.
That's for the exterior main,
Correct.
The front main wall, right?
front main wall, which he says is an architectural feature, which you could tie to the elevation. So there might be that one component but the building isn't any higher than what's permitted. He's not going for a height variance overall.
Right.
I mean, we see a lot of these where you have the front main wall, the rear main wall at its kind of in its full height, and then you've got the flank, like on the sides, if they kind of flank it down to drop those side main wall heights. I do note on the street that those heights, the side main walls are dropped on the front as well, front and rear, but is this unlike anything is this something new that we, I think this is pretty common, a pretty common application. And I certainly think like with this sort of style of house, it is common for those heights to be on the front main wall with the kind of the sides to be pulled down, height on the sides to be pulled down. So. He did, yeah, there's a reduction there.
If no one else wants to move a motion, I'm happy to do it. I understand the concerns of staff, but I don't think that this application is setting some precedent for a much larger building. I think, as the chair's indicated, it is a slightly smaller lot, so there could be some consideration for the reduced side yards. I think if we tie the front and rear exterior main wall height, probably didn't word that properly, to the front and rear elevation drawings, I would feel more comfortable with that.
The only thing that's catching me is that what's sort of interesting in this case is that the variance is applied to the side main wall height to all side main walls. And in some cases, it's only limited to just the sides, meaning there is none for the front and back. So there's a difference in the actual bylaw here that we may have seen in other applications. But I think that would suffice. But I point that out that it is inclusive of front and rear. Whether or not I agree that's an architectural feature when it's almost the entire front main wall, I don't know, but.
Okay.
Anyways.
I mean, I think the applicant has amended it and reduced it, sorry, I'll have to start all over for staff, because obviously I'm going down a circuitous path here. But I am prepared to move a motion to approve the application as amended by the applicant, so that sorry, I'll have to go back to the beginning. Sorry, I might need some help on this of what he actually amended. Okay.
Go for it.
I have variants 1 and 2 remaining the same. Is that correct? Oh.
Nope. One is amended to 1.52. No change to number 2.
Right. And then number 3 is reduced from 9.46 to 9.15.
Yep.
5 remains the same, I believe.
Yeah.
4.
Everything's the same except for 8.
4, 5, 6, yes. 10.8 is reduced to 10.28? Okay.
Yeah.
So I think this application is reasonable, given the size of the lot and the other new developments in the area. I don't think it's out of the ordinary. And I would also, but I would make the condition that that it be developed in accordance, substantially in accordance with the all elevations drawings. That's okay. So front, rear, and sides, and subject to forestry condition number 1.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a seconder? Okay, second by Mr. Fazeli. All in favor? Okay, it's unanimous. Motion carries. The application as amended is approved with condition.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. How are we doing? I should check in. Do we need a break? We're on the last. Okay. I'm not going to ask that question. All right. And I thank everybody that's here for hanging in there and pushing us through to our lunch and trying to get us back on time today. Okay. Moving on to our last item of the morning. Moment here. 13. Item number 13. Number 12, Sumner Heights Drive. This is an application to construct a new 2-story dwelling. We've got variances for the north and south side yard setbacks, north side yard setback for a rear platform, platform encroachment into a rear yard setback, deck projection, front yard setback, rear yard setback, front stair width, rear stair width, side main wall height for walls facing both north and south lot lines, first floor height, soft yard landscaping, lot coverage, and building depth. Okay, do we have the agent or applicant with us?
Yes, I'm here, Mr. Chair. My name is Nushin Mazamfari from Hyphen Studio, representing my client, owner of 12 Sumner Heights.
Okay, welcome. We are going to ask for I'm going to ask for a brief presentation from you on this one. Oh, and I should ask, this is a modified application?
Yes.
Okay,
we have some modifications.
Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. Let's pull up the public notice. I'm going to ask you to take us through in order, starting with variance number 1, and let us know what is being changed.
Okay, variance number 1 and 2 remains the same.
Okay.
Number 3 is removed.
3 is removed, yep.
Number 4 reduced to 3.97.
Okay.
Number 5 removed.
Okay.
Number 6, 7, and 8 remains.
Okay.
Number 9 is removed. Number 10, 11, and 12 remains the same. Number 13 is removed. Number 14 is reduced to 34%. And 15 remains the same.
Okay, so no changes to 15. Okay. Okay. I'm going to ask for a brief presentation from you on this.
Yes, I appreciate if the staff can kindly pull up my presentation material. I know that the number of the requested variances might seem very aggressive, but because of the shape of this lot, which is a very irregular shape, is the reason for these variances. If I have my presentation material, first, this is the drawings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No.
Can you show the supporting material that I have provided and sent to committee?
Just give us a moment to pull it up.
Okay, sure.
We'll make sure we're not taking away from your time. Don't worry.
I'm not worried.
We're having some technical.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, our presenter's having technical difficulties. Perhaps the applicant can proceed.
Yes, let's, all of us have the material in front of us on our screen. So if you can direct us and we'll just take us through it, but just for your own peace of mind, we do have the material in front of us. We have reviewed it, but if there's any questions following, I will interject. So I presume either members, do you guys have the planning rationale there? Okay. So, and I also, okay, very good.
That's perfect. If you have those supporting material in front of you, I can just go through them page by page because, as I mentioned, this is a very irregular shaped property, and that's why I need this presentation to make sure that I can explain the variances.
Do me a favor, just
number one.
Can you just direct us to your the first page of your planning rationale, just to make sure that we've all got it in front of us?
Okay, for the first page, which is a site plan, I'm showing the portions of the building that are encroaching into the side setback and front setback. Those triangles that I've shown in blue and green on the side are the portions that are encroaching into the 4 foot and 6 foot side setback. As you see, only the first corner of the proposal is measured to the closest point to the pitch point is at 0.69 setback, and the rest of the building, for example, the second corner has 1.1 meter setback, and the rest of the building has even more setback than required. For the side setback on the other side, on the north side, we are basically keeping the existing situation. That dashed purple line shows the existing footprint of the existing house, and as you can see, we are basically keeping the rear and north side wall where it's exactly located in the current situation, and we are extending the front portion for the garage by 6 feet to the front, and that's what makes the front yard variance. That red triangle is the part that is encroaching into the required front setback. As you see, that portion is in the middle of the house, not on the beside the side lot line. So if we were going to have a triangle room, we could basically go even further at the corner on the side of the property, but for having a square shape for the room and garage and everything, we are, although we are stepping back at the side corner, we are encroaching to the required front setback in the middle. Also, for the, I'm not going through the minor items like the width of the stairs or the first floor height, only the main items I'm trying to explain. And for the rear setback, so half of the building is exactly at the same location of the existing building is encroaching into the required rear setback. The rest is in compliance. For the building length, as the dimension on the top of the page shows, the actual building length is 17 meters. But based on the bylaws definition, the length is measured perpendicular to the center line of lot, which is dimensioned at the bottom, and that's why the building length is also a variance, but the actual building length is not bigger than 17 meters. And the last one for the wall height, on the north side, the proposed wall height is only 10 inches more than allowed. But on the south side, if you go to the second page of my presentation, the immediate wall beside the property also has that 10 inches extra wall height. The portion that is higher, which is shown in yellow, is much farther from the property line, and it basically has more than 6 meters setback to the closest point, but that's the portion triggering the variance for the side wall height, and the rest of the, if the variance was considered on the immediate wall beside the property line, this item wouldn't be even a variance. And that's it for now. If there is any question, I would be happy to answer, or
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for that. Okay. Any questions at this time? Okay, no questions. Can we get our next speaker?
Hello?
Hello. Your name and address for us.
My name is Sina, S-I-N-A, last name Atabon, A-K-H-A-B-A-N. I am number 14, Sumner Heights.
You're the neighbor directly adjacent, I presume?
Correct.
Okay. All right. We get the clock up. The floor is yours.
Basically, I have an issue with the side. Hello?
Hello? We can hear you. You said you have an issue with
Sorry. Yeah. Yes, I have an issue with the side yard setback,
okay,
which is 0.69 meter from the property line. And that is causing shadow in our property and blocking our view. And that would be our main concern.
Could you give us a
And
little more clarification? You said it's blocking your view. What specifically is blocking your view?
yes. So if you are she has in her presentation the triangle is showing the location of the
There we go.
exactly, yes.
Yep.
That's it. So if you look at both the red and the green and blue, if you look at it, if you draw a line, that's just the view that we can see who's coming toward our house and blocking our view, and also on the side yard setback. Also, it's causing shadow on our property.
You're referring to the view from your driveway?
Correct. And also the master bedroom, which is right above, it's right on the top of the garage, which is adjacent to the neighbor.
Okay.
And also, I want to ask the committee if, in case they are approving this variance, they attach the site plan and elevation to this decision as the staff recommended. So all of a sudden we don't get a new design that the whole side yard setback is 0.69.
That's reasonable. Okay. Any other concerns we should know about?
Nothing at this point, no.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the speaker? Okay. Okay, thank you, sir. I believe we have another speaker as well. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the neighbor on the other side.
Yes. Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Your name and address for us, sir?
Perfect. My name is Iron Lee. My address is 10 Sumner Height Drive, M2K1Y3. I'm on the north side of the neighbor, on the other side. So I can start now, can I? Thank you very much.
Yes, of course. Floor is yours.
Perfect. Okay. Can you pull out the location map? Actually, this is a location map. I can see that. Do you go up a little bit? The building right now is, yeah, that is perfect. My house is in number 10, and the proposed structure is the number 12. It is a little bit unique structure right now on the existing buildings. My house, my main windows are actually facing number 12 on the driveway. The main window is not facing the street. Now can you move it to the letter of objection that I have submitted? I can show you exactly how it will. Yeah, this is the one. So you can see that at the front of my house is actually a lot of giant big tree. My side window of my house is actually facing number 2 on their driveway. So that is the major light source coming from my house. So if the house extend out for 2 meters, then you can see that on the left-hand side, there's a blue box. That will be how it's going to look and block the view and the shadowing on my house. So the sun coming from, we are facing south, the sun coming from that side. So you can see that it will block, the red line over there is where my window is. So most of the light will be blocked. And if you go down to the next page, you can see the view, how it come out from my window. So this is how I look out from the window right now, where I can only see a part of the garage. So if the building come out by 2 meters, 1.8 meters around that range, then this is what I'm going to see, the blue line that I'm going to see, and most of the light will be blocked, especially the building will be all the way up to the maximum height and not even the slooped roof, because on the pieces that come out is actually straight up. There's no slooped roof to allow any light to come into our house. that would be my major concern of shadowing on my house. I understand that they don't have any window on that side to have any privacy issue, but that will be blocking most of the sunlight coming into my family room. That will have a significant impact into our family life over there.
Okay, thank you.
Done it quickly? Yep. One thing that I would like to ask the committee to consider is to maintain the setback of the north side. Right now, the setback on the north side, number 2, they reduced the setback from 1.8 to 1.22 meter. I have no problem for keeping the extended wall, the setback for between the two houses, but the extension that they come out, I would like to ask the committee to consider we maintain the setback to 1.8 meter so that it allows proper light to come in. Yeah, that will be my major concern, especially if they can change the architectural design to kind of have a slope to ceiling. It will migrate some of the impact on my house too. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Any questions? Okay, no questions. Thank you very much. Let's now go back to the agent. I'd like to get a response specifically to address the concerns that came up from both neighbors at number 14 and number 10.
Yes, sure. Thank you for sharing your concerns. I thank my neighbors. We actually had a meeting with the north neighbor with the concerns of the light going to his family room. First of all, about the concerns that Sina mentioned from the number 14. As you can see on the shadow study that I have provided on page 3 and 4, considering the sunlight direction from the south side, we don't have any shadow casting on the south side, so there is no concerns for the shadow there. And if you go back to the site plan, I understand that we are asking for side setback at that corner, that's a blue triangle. But if you consider the front setback, which is a curved shape that I have shown with red line, the building could open further to the front, and regardless of that little triangle, it will touch the view from the
Sorry,
garage to the...
we're having some trouble hearing you clearly. Can you just make sure you're speaking into the microphone? And also, if you can just speak a little slower. We want to make sure that we're understanding everything that you're conveying to us.
Yes, sure, I will try. I was just trying to use my time efficiently to address all the points. As I mentioned, although we are encroaching into the side yard setback for those little triangles, but the building could basically go further into the front yard up to that red curve line that shows the required front setback. And no matter what, the building would block the view if you stand in the driveway of number 14. But it's the unfortunate situation when these properties are located at the curve of the street and they basically stagger below each other, and it creates this situation. And for the neighbor at the north part, the neighbor's building to the closest corner of the family room, it has 5.8 meter setback, and it has more for the rest of the wall as it's not parallel to the side lot line. And the variance that we are asking, the required front yard setback, is not on the side of the property line. So again, if we wanted to have a rectangular room shape, we could go even 6 more foot further. This variance that we are asking for is happening in the middle of the house. Also, if you can go to the page 4, I have provided a shadow study and a comparison between the proposed shadow study, the as of right, with the in compliance with the front setback and side setback and wall height and everything. And as you see, the comparison shows that what we are proposing is causing even less shadow and loss of sunlight on the north neighboring property. As I mentioned, we already had a meeting with the north neighbor at number 10, and we tried to explain the variances, mostly caused from the irregular shape of the lot. As you see, the lot is for 40 foot at front and 75 foot at the rear, and that's why all these encroachments into the side setback is coming.
Okay, thank you. That's our time there. So I'm gonna cut you off there. Any questions at this time? Okay. All right. We've got no questions. Thank you very much. I think this item now we're ready to move into committee for a decision. Okay. So we'll move into committee now. Comments? I see there might be some concerns with some items, or?
Through you, Mr. Chair, it's a lot of variances on this property. I do think that the applicant has worked with staff to reduce the impact of the variances. I can understand the neighbors still have concerns because it's new development and it's different in a way than what was there. It's not the same style of house, but I also understand that it's difficult for the owner to probably build something that they're looking for. I have a tendency to agree with the staff report that as amended, to me, it's something that could be supported. I don't know how my colleagues feel.
Your mic.
In compliance with the staff report.
Yeah, it certainly is a challenging lot. I certainly do take the neighbors' comments, and I think in a previous hearing we acknowledged that in some cases you have some what would be considered primary windows that actually face the side. But in this case, I think it is somewhat mitigated by the fact that you do have a pretty, I think, an adequate spatial separation. There is a step back and a driveway to mitigate that adjacency, and I think the planning rationale was helpful to kind of show where they are encroaching into that front yard setback. It really is sort of a give and take. There's a portion of that triangle which isn't as of right, which they kind of got rid of and they tried to square it out. If you kind of look at the give and take and take into account the setbacks around it, I think it's acceptable in terms of meeting the 4 tests with respect to that condition specifically.
So unless anyone else wants to jump in, I'm happy to move a motion for approval of the application as amended, as indicated by the applicant and recorded in the planning staff report. Do I need to read the variances out? Would you prefer? Okay. So that would be to, hold on, let me just get to the beginning. So the application as amended in eliminating variance 3 for the proposed north side yard setback of the rear platform, modifying variance number 4 for the proposed rear platform encroachment from 4.17 meters to 3.97 meters, eliminating variance 5 for the proposed rear deck projection, eliminating variance number 9 for the proposed width of the rear stairs, eliminating variance number 13 for the proposed front yard soft landscaping, and modifying variance number 14 for the proposed lot coverage from 34.4 to 34%. So that's the application as amended, and then the conditions on that would be that the proposed be developed in accordance with the rear west, side south, and side north yards, as shown on the submitted site plan to the Committee of Adjustment and attached to, as attachment 1 to the report. And that the proposed be developed in accordance with the side south and side north wall heights as shown on the submitted elevations to the Committee of Adjustment, attached as attachments 2 and 3 to the report. Oh, sorry. Yes, and subject to forestry condition number 2. And did the staff indicate, oh, sorry, and oh, I did say that. Yeah, to the site plan and elevation, sorry.
Yeah, which also I think
Getting
addresses some of the concerns brought up by one of the neighbors
Yes.
to ensure that what we approve actually gets
I would agree.
built.
Yeah.
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
We've got a motion. Do I have a seconder? Okay, second by Ms. Martin. All in favor? Okay, unanimous. The motion carries. The application as amended is approved with condition. Okay, that concludes our morning session. I want to thank everybody. We are now at 2:10 in the afternoon. Not bad considering we started an hour late and we had a power outage in the middle, a second power outage, I should say, in the morning session. So let's resume at 3:10 in the afternoon. I will try my best to make up time for those that are waiting. And I thank everybody again for their patience this morning. Thank you.